Hello, today we're going to discuss how to estimate products. First thing we're going to do is we're going to discuss two terms that you need to know. The word product is one word you should already know. You probably learned it in third grade, and that is the answer to a multiplication problem. The next one are compatible numbers, and compatible numbers are close to the actual numbers, but they are easier to compute mentally. So if you look at this anchor chart over here, compatible numbers use numbers that are close to the actual numbers that are easy to compute in your brain because it's easier to estimate when you're doing mental math. So if I have 32, I'm going to round it to 30. And if I have 12, I'm going to round it to 10. And 30 times 10 would give me 300. But if I'm rounding, that's the one where you do that. 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, add one more, raise the score, whatever else. And then you have to do it mentally. And so, right here's one more review of what they mean and how they both work. So with decimals right here, if I have something like this right here, 4.287, I'm going to round it to the nearest whole number. So the 2 tells me that my 4 needs to stay the same. And this 8 right here tells me that my 2 needs to raise the score to a 3. So 4 times 3 would equal 12. Now let's look at the second example right here using compatible numbers. If I've got 16, it's close to 15. If I'm using anything like 5, 10, 15, 20, a factor of 5, then it's usually a lot easier than not. And then 3.45 would be a 3. It's close to a 3. And then I would do 15 times 3, which would give me around 45. And that's what this little symbol right here is around. So let's go to our next slide. Right here. We're going to talk about how to round and estimate to get to the product. Remember what I said, when we're rounding with this, we're always rounding to a whole number. So 3.73, the 7 right here tells me that, just a minute. Right here, sorry. Okay. So the 7 right here tells me that my 3 is going to become a 4. So 4 times 8.16, this 1 tells me that my 8 will stay the same. 4 times 8 would equal 32. Now let's look at this next one right here. This 5 right here tells me that this 5 will go up. Rate 5 or more, raise the score. So that will be 36 times the 7 right here tells me that this 9 will become a 10. 36 times 10 equals 360. Let's look at number 3. I'm going to round to the nearest whole number. So that 3 tells me my 7 stays the same. And the 6 right here tells me that my 5 will go up, raise the score to a 6. So 7 times 6 would equal 42. Let's look at this one right here. This 1 tells me that my 4 stays the same. So 4 times, and this 5 right here tells me that my 12, raise the score, will go up to 13. 4 times 13, I don't know it off the top of my head. 52. Let's look at this one right here. 8.4, this 4 right here tells me my 8 stays the same. And the 6 right here tells me that my 5 raises the score to a 6. So 8 times 6 equals 48. Let's look at this next one. This 5 right here tells me that my 24 becomes a 25 times, and this 9 right here tells me that my 7 will become an 8. 25 times 8 equals 200. Let's look at number 7. For number 7, the 0 right here tells me that my 41 will stay a 41. And this 8 right here tells me that my 4 will become a 5. So 41 times 5 equals 205. This next one right here, this 8 right here, tells me my 15 will become a 16 times 8. This 4 tells me my 9 will stay a 9. So 16 times 9, I can't do it mentally. So that equals 144. Let's look at number 9. 2.81 will become a 3 times 17.68. The 6 tells me my 17 will become an 18. So 18 times 3 would be 54. So far, that's not too hard. We've already learned how to round to the nearest whole number. That means we round to the ones place, and we round to the ones, and then we multiply. Let's do our next page. This one's a little trickier. This one is compatible numbers. And with compatible numbers, I want to use numbers that I can multiply kind of easily. Okay, so for number 10, 55.93 times 8.34. Well, 55, I could round up to 60. That's kind of close. And 8 times 1, 4, I could round to 8. Or S, that's the thing about compatible numbers. Compatible numbers is close, but not exact. So 6 times 8 equals 48. And then I'm just going to add my 0. For number 2, 61.438. Well, that's kind of close to 60. I'm wanting to do mental math. And 8.72 would be around 9. So 6 times 9 is 54, and then I'm going to add my 0 right here. Let's look at number 12. Number 12, I'm going around 122.899 to actually 125. It's kind of close. I could also do 120, so I will show you that as an example as well. And then 5.36 is close to 5, 12 times 5 is 60, and I'm going to add my 0 for 600. 125 is actually 625. So let's look at number 13. 16.694 is close to 17. If it's less than 20, you really should try to go kind of close. And 3.5 is close to 4. So 17 times 4 would equal 68. Number 14, 17.158 is also close to 17. And 8.99, with this one, I'm actually going to round it up to a 10. So 17 times 10 equals 170. Let's look at 15. 15 is 38.753. That's kind of close to 40. So I'm going to do 40 times 8.461 is close to 8. 4 times 8 is 32, and then I'm going to add my 0 at the end. Not too hard, right? I'm just kind of trying to choose stuff that it's kind of close and near. So 73.724 is close to 75, and 20.1 is close to 20. 75 times 2 is 150, and then I'm going to add my extra 0 and put my comment in here. Yeah, double checking my math. So 79.48 is close to 80. 8.512 is close to 9. 9 times 8 is 72, and I'm going to add my 0 here. Let's look at this last one. 43.518 is close to 45. And 18, I'm actually going to round that to 20. 45 times 2, 22 is 90, and I'm going to add one more 0. And now I'm good with this one. Now let's go to our last problem. It says Elena is used to round. Elena used rounding to estimate 7.864 times 3.29 is around 24. Peter used rounding to estimate that it is around 32. Which student is correct and who made the mistake? Well, if I'm looking at this, I know 7.864 is close to 8. 3.29 is close to 3. 8 times 3 is 24. What happened with Peter is that Peter actually rounded this 3.29 to 4. So 8 times 4 is 32. So that's actually the mistake that he made. And so Elena is correct. She's closer to the correct answer than Peter is. Good luck on your homework, and I'll see you in class.